Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Hello.
Good morning, good afternoon, good day, whatever is applicable for you.
Hey, Ark, Wild Man. Hey, Bunky.
Hey,
Bunky.
And
Hey, Wild Man.
Good to see you all. And welcome, Kathy.
Thanks for having me today.
Thanks for being here. It's going to be fun.
I think so.
I was listening to you sing on your channel. Oh my goodness.
Thank you for checking those out. Yeah, it's been a musical March focus. I decided about the middle of last month that I was just going to put myself out there and get back into music more.
Awesome.
So among my goals that we'll talk about. But
yeah.
Awesome.
He started doing he started doing a karaoke Sunday.
Oh, how fun.
Where he has people up to sing karaoke. I know. I keep wanting to do that. And I'm going to try to make it over there this Sunday.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to check that out, too.
I'm trying to remember what time he does it.
Ark posts on Instagram all the time his karaoke. It's awesome. Hey, Gear Griden. Hey, Milk and Honey.
Good morning. Honey. So I'll give everybody a minute for notifications to go out, people to join us. Looks like maybe it did. So
yeah, I think it did finally, which is actually pretty quick compared to usual.
Yeah, it did go pretty quick.
Are you having good weather today, both of you?
So far, so good. I was just telling Lisa we've got some kind of a storm coming this Friday. Hey, Canadian Family Life, Tina Ladybug, Off the Wall Prepping.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Tamara, good to see you all. Thank you all for coming.
We hit 32 today. We had about 8 inches of snow last night.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shoot.
It's funny because my friend Jessie at Rustic Sodak is about 90 minutes from me, north of me, and she had a few flakes. That was it.
Wow. It's been it seems a little cooler here than usual, than normal, which has kind of put a damper on my gardening plans. But
what state are you in?
I'm in Texas. We're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Gotcha.
And we'll have, it'll be almost 90 degrees one day already this year, and then it's low 40s. And overnight in the 30s, like the next night. So.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, nice that it's not 90 degrees, I guess, right? But
I'll be complaining in another couple months too about how hot it is. But
we all will.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I think we've had more rain already this year than we had all of last year. We had a horrible drought here in the summer last year. And it has been so wet here now. We've got spots in the backyard and in the pasture that they can't dry. They'll just get almost dry, and then we get another big batch of rain, and it's a slimy mess again. So I'm kind of about to give up on trying to keep hooves clean. Cabo Galata don't seem to mind, but that's not real easy on my back, that bending over trying to clean equine feet, but
yeah, we go from we've been in a drought for a while, and we go from we will go from snow season into hail season.
Oh no!
So it's all right. I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, fortunately we've only had one. I mean, we've had a couple of days where there was a potential for severe weather. 9 out of 10 times, knock on wood, it skips right over us. We'll have something and it's really bad just before it gets here. Then we get some wind and some rain, and then it skips over us, and then it heads it's closer to Dallas, and it's tornadoes and all of the dangerous stuff that was predicted will happen once it passes. So I'm not complaining, but we've only had one day this year now that we had to gather all the animals and get in the east hallway because the sirens were sounding.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, and that'll happen another 2 or 3 times this year that the sirens will go off and we'll we'll all cram ourselves into that little space. But
Yeah. Yikes. That's scary
Yikes.
stuff.
It's
We were
very
in
scary.
town at the post office and heard the sirens. And me and my husband both looked at each other like, we don't want to hear those in the middle of the night.
not when you're out. Yeah.
No, it was a very nice sunny day on that day. So I think they intentionally did that on a nice day. That way they know nobody's gonna,
Worry.
think. Yep. So Kathy, do you want to take a minute and tell everybody about your channel and all of where you are
For
and
sure.
all
Before
that good?
So
before
I'm
you
Kathy, the cat part of RichKat Ranch. Our channel name is just a combination of our first names. My husband's name is Richard. He doesn't go by Rich, but for the sake of naming our family business, we decided we would call it RichKat Ranch. We have some property. We have a lot of rescue animals and pets also in the mix. And we tend to, so the family business kind of on which the channel is based, and it's just an extension sort of the home business. The home business, we focus on animal care primarily. Richard also does some lawn work, mowing and stuff like that. But we go to other people's property to tend to their horses and animals when they're away from home. And that business started when Richard lost his job back like at the end of 2014. And we needed a second income. I was still working full time at the time, but my income was not enough to support us. So he started up this little family business, and we had some business cards printed up. He went around door to door, introduced himself, and we got a little handful of clients that are still clients to this day. Now, some of the clients, like their equines, have passed away, so we don't tend to them, but they've become friends, and all of our clients are also neighbors. They're close by, so the ones we tend to regularly are literally within walking distance if we wanted to walk, like a quarter mile, half a mile maybe, if we wanted to walk. And we had posted on our Facebook page for lots of years pictures, like our pictures and videos of the animals we were tending to, and our own rescue animals and foster dogs and stuff. People would say to us, y'all should have a YouTube channel, which really intimidated me. And I thought, no, I can't do that. I'm not tech savvy enough. And I thought it was going to be so intimidating and complicated. But that's kind of how the channel got started. So for our channel, the primary focus, I'm comfortable saying the primary focus is the animals, and we're sort of a quasi homestead. We're not a real homesteaders. We don't raise any meat animals. I know not all homesteaders raise meat animals. And I haven't had a garden every year, partly because we really have challenges in keeping the ducks and geese out of the gardens when I plant a garden. Not as much the ducks. Our ducks are, for the most part, flightless breeds. We do have some that can fly. They just don't really realize that they can fly. I see the other ducks flying, I think. And the geese can fly, but they only fly back and forth from their yard to the pond, the pasture pond, and then they'll sometimes fly home. But they're very geese form really tight bonds with their flock, whatever that is. Whatever their flock happens to be. And so they don't take off. And they're super smart, so they know they've got a consistent source of food and shelter. And anyway, so the last couple of seasons, I've planted gardens. I tried a raised bed the last 2 years, and I'll be darned if they still didn't find ways to get up in there. And
Oh no.
little
Hey
sprouts,
Kathy,
my little sprouts come up.
real quick, I want to check with you. Do you have another page open that has YouTube running? Because we're getting a little bit of an echo.
Well, I don't have any. I had my YouTube analytics page open. I just shut it, but I don't have any other. I don't have any other YouTube pages open. So now the only thing open is this tab with the StreamYard. Did that help?
I think so. Lisa?
Sounds like it did. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. So anyway, so the channel is primarily animal focused, but I share recipes. And again, for March, I've put out a lot of cover songs, and there will be more of those to come. I think I put out my first cover song last summer. and it wasn't necessarily going to be a regular thing on the channel, but I want it to become more of a regular thing on the channel, just because music has been a really, really big part of my life for most of my life. And it's very therapeutic for me to be involved in music somehow.
Yeah.
So we share recipes. I cook for the dogs, and I share information on cooking for the dogs. And we've got our new This and That series, Richard and I. All this time that we've had a channel, I've really wanted Richard to be involved in the videos. But he's not shy. It's not that he's not shy. I mean, it's not that he's shy, but he just has not wanted to be on camera. So I finally got him to commit to our This and That series that we put out every Monday night.
That's fun.
And we do little challenges and things together. So he's on the camera with me. And I think he's really having fun with it. And I hope that that's going to make him more interested in getting more involved in the, like my live streams and stuff. I'd really like for him to be a part of that as well. And I don't know what else I can tell you about the channel. So it's kind of a hodgepodge.
Tell him your name's first. This isn't Cat Rich Ranch.
Well, I have said things along those lines that it's RichKat Ranch, and even in our little, on our about page, it says it's called that because those are our names. So and you see him in videos often because I'm filming things that we're working on, or we're both outside, and so it's not like no one's ever seen him, but he's just so reluctant to be the star.
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from. He's the youngest of four. He's the only boy in his family. He's very much like a life of the party, likes to be center of attention when we're in a social setting. So I don't know what it is about YouTube that he seems uncomfortable being a primary character, so to speak. Again, I think that's the tides are turning because he's really having fun with our Monday series, I think, and he even is now making suggestions on challenges and things that we can do. So I'm seeing some progress there.
Real quick, I want to say hi to a couple of folks who have joined us. Jamie's Country Living, hello. My Raindrop Life, good to see you. Odom's Homestead, Corner Clubhouse Cobalt.
Hey, Mark.
Good to see all y'all. And Jamie's saying it's my husband too. I won't. He doesn't like to be on camera, and Lisa's shaking her head.
Yeah. Ryan is okay being on camera if he's doing something like working on a project, but and it's not that he's just not about social media.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe that's more what it is. Maybe Richard sees this as a social media thing. Again, I kind of see it as an extension of our family business. I want to grow the channel and just get more people aware of us. Although I don't know that we've ever had anybody contact us for like animal care here because of the YouTube channel. But we have it's printed on our business cards. Our YouTube channel is it's on the business cards. So maybe we've gained some new followers here because of our home business, but I don't think it's really worked the other way around for us. But as far as location, so we're in South Lake, Texas, which is really close to Fort Worth. There are little fingers of Fort Worth that stick in really close to us, but I know most people know where Fort Worth is, so that's kind of the easiest landmark or location to give people. Otherwise, I only knew about South Lake before we moved here because we would come shopping here at Christmas time. It has, the great, quaint little town square and all the shops on the street. You just walk, you walk. It's not like a mall. Everything is outside. You walk along the sidewalk, get into all the little shops.
Kathy, I have a question for you. So for your goals that you have set up, because you guys do have a business, do you break them down into like goals for the family, goals for the business, or like what are how did you go about organizing your thoughts and plans?
We don't even really now because Richard's been working full time now. I think he went back to work early 2015. He was just out of work for like 3 months. And now the home business is just a side hustle thing. Probably the biggest part of that home business, the biggest animal care part of that home business is that we board dogs in our home. So we take people's animals on their property, but we do private canine boarding in our home. And that we do want to grow that, because that's just an easy and enjoyable way to make a little money. Most of the dogs that board here are connected to us through Good Shepherd Rescue of Texas. That's the German Shepherd Rescue that we work with. And that got started. We hadn't planned on boarding dogs when we started that home business. I was still working full time, so it just wasn't really a feasible thing anyway. But a couple of years after we got into fostering for Good Shepherd, we got our first phone call from a family who had adopted a dog from us, asking if we would please consider babysitting when they went on vacation, because they just didn't know where else they could leave her that they would feel safe and, you know, trust that it was going to be good for her. And so we thought, sure. And for us, it was a reunion. We were excited to have her here. It felt like grandkids coming to visit. Well, so we did that first boarding for that one family. Then word got out. I mean, it spread like wildfire. And then people were calling and texting and sending Facebook messages asking if we would consider boarding their dog too. And initially, again, it was families that had directly adopted from us. So we had a foster dog and they adopted a foster dog. But then it turned into families all through Good Shepherd. And Good Shepherd's been around since 1999. So it's a huge organization, a lot of people involved in that. And then Good Shepherd Rescue themselves would refer people here. So we still boarded like almost full time, even when I was working full time. And it's worked out great. We had, you know, maybe one or two dogs that we ever had any challenges with, but and we don't just board German Shepherd dogs. So that was just how it got started. But we board all sizes, all ages, all breeds, all personalities. And our dogs, I think, are just so used to having visitor dogs come that they just don't even, there's another hey. Now, our crotchety old girl, Serena, she's the oldest in the pack now. And all we know is she's probably about 11 because, you know, rescue work, you get them when they're already adults. You just kind of have to guess how old they are. So I think she's about 11, and she's got some arthritis, and so she's not real quick on her feet anymore. And I think that's part of what's made her sort of crotchety, because these younger active dogs will come and they want to get all up in her face and try to get her to play. And she's just, so just old and crotchety, but she just keeps to herself then. So after she initially, I guess, lets them know, hey, no, I'm not chasing you. I don't want to play with that toy with you. Then she does her own thing. And
that's awesome. So then am I getting that one of your business goals is you want to expand your canine?
Yeah, we do.
Boarding
again, now that I'm home full time.
I love that as an idea for a side hustle. I think everybody should have a side hustle.
Oh my gosh. Well,
we should in this day and age. Well, at least an idea of something to do. Yes.
And even though I was working full time through that whole thing until I retired last year, when the shutdown happened then, now Richard was still working. I don't know what he was doing because all the events were canceled. He works for GM. He's a Southwest Regional Manager for GM, but he handles events. So when the Byron Nelson comes to town, the Colonial Golf Tournament or the State Fair or stuff like that happens, he orders, he places the orders for these. He's the Cadillac. He manages the Cadillac division. So he places orders for these fancy schmancy Cadillac cars that either the golf pros or Texas Motor Speedway, you know, race car drivers and stuff, that they will drive around town while they're staying here for the event, or the shows that'll be at the state fair, orders those cars to be shown at the state fair. And then he has to arrange to have them purchased back by dealerships in the area so that they can be sold. So I still don't know what he was doing that he really did. I mean, he worked from home, but he stayed, thank goodness, he stayed employed through all of the shutdown.
I work from home too. And I'll come out of, or away from my laptop that I'm working on. And I'll be like, And my husband would say, what is it? I said, I'm putting out fires. You know how I do that? I do it like this.
Yeah. Oh, and I can always tell if he's had a day where he's put out a lot of fires, he comes home and he doesn't even speak. I think he's ready to get home and just change his clothes and decompress and, find something to take his mind off of it. But
yeah.
But yes,
my
we would
husband
like
knows
to expand that.
if things I'll be button. Are you believing this?
We'd like to expand that canine business. So that is kind of a goal. We really don't do any marketing. I will sometimes put a little Facebook post up either on our Facebook business page or on that Good Shepherd Rescue page to let people know that we've got openings.
Kathy, like that was, so we've had a business before. We had a pest control company in Arizona when we were in the Valley, and marketing was never, like, we did some, but it was never our strong point. Like I will say that. And another one of my future side hustles is like wanting to do like soaps and lotions and herbal things. But again, like I don't know what it is. I go to make my, for this channel, we don't have a logo yet. I did just win one on a thing. So we'll see.
Wow.
But then I get undecisive too. So it's labeling, logos. I get something, I get undecisive, and then I choose to do nothing.
Oh, no.
So then the marketing piece, doesn't happen.
Well, it really is exciting to me when we get a phone call or a text message or a Facebook message from someone that says, hey, I got your name from so-and-so. So it's somebody that we don't know at all. And they're not Good Shepherd people.
Yeah, that's how our business grew too.
My neighbor says, you guys watch their dogs. Can you watch my dogs?
What's going to happen, Kathy, the longer you have that business, because we had ours for like 20 years. So we went, most of our business was word of mouth. We knew families of people. We knew sisters. And then we were then taking care of the kids as homes because we watched them grow up.
Oh, wow.
And, Mountain Grandpa, whenever he'd go to the homes where he knew there was kids and dogs, he would take candy and bones.
Yeah. Well, even now, we stay booked between like 3 and 6 months out.
Yeah.
And for holidays, we book a year out. So people that have been boarding with us now for a long time just know, hey, if I think I'm going someplace for Christmas this year, can you just put me on the schedule now for Christmas next year? So
I'm going to divert us in case anybody else had this burning question about Australia.
Oh, yes.
They do have different time zones.
Okay.
So I guess like us, one's 3 hours apart, 30 minutes. That's a trip. We don't have that.
Oh, yeah.
For us, it's 1, 2, and 3 hour differences.
Yeah.
But thank you for answering that question.
Yeah, thank you.
And Daz is still stuck in 1986.
You gotta love that. 1986 was a good year.
Yeah, speaking of 1986, my oldest son was born in 1986. Today is his birthday.
Oh my goodness.
Happy
birthday.
So, I don't know how that happens. You just blink and
you just blink.
And 20 years has gone by. 30 years has gone by.
Yeah. And you look out of your eyes and you have you're the same person.
Yeah.
Looking out of your eyes, looking in a mirror.
Right.
Yeah.
That's your wake-up call.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it just doesn't even make sense. My oldest daughter will be 40 in December.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That
gotta stay a kid at heart. I think that
maybe so. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, the animals, I think the animals here really do. I so often just feel like I'm just living my childhood. I'm just, I'm just living my dreams right now to have ducks and horses and
right,
dogs, and
that's what life is for.
It's supposed to be,
dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, Kathy, what about, we talked about like your business goal of expanding your canine boarding business. what else you got on there?
Well,
I'm anxious for you to get to like the music part.
Yeah, so a garden is my goal again. We've got a new place picked out where
Awesome.
we've been laying down a layer of compost, and then we're going to get that built up. And Richard's got some cattle panels that he's going to put around it for me to hopefully keep our animals out of it. So I really want to have a nice garden this year. And one of my goals for the garden is I want to gift. So once I get my little plants started, I want to start gifting plants to neighbors, or if there's a way to mail them, I want to send little plants, little sproutlings to people. Because a lot of times when I've had a garden, we can't eat all that grows. I mean, we just can't possibly eat all that grows. So. And also along the lines of my garden, I really, really want and feel like I need to learn about canning, about preserving foods.
Yes, ma'am.
It's something that's always interested me. And the more I watch those of you that do that kind of stuff, the more I realize it's not scary.
Yeah.
Do you have a dehydrator?
I don't.
Okay, so
I want to get myself one of those cook pressure canner things. And I want to get a dehydrator. Like I always grow herbs. I almost have herbs growing all year round, and I dry my own herbs, but I've always just done it in the oven.
Well, let me give you number one, my Aussie Garden and Kitchen. I just watched this before we came on. He had his dehydrating video. Today,
I saw that.
And I will recommend this. If you're going to buy a dehydrator, make sure you buy one that has a temperature gauge on it.
Yep.
Temperature setting.
Okay.
Do not buy the cheap ones that don't have that. Spend the money on a good one. And definitely watch Daz's videos, because he really talks about the versatility, gives you a lot of great tips, and real practical stuff. But I learned so much from that video he did this morning. So.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that, Lisa, because I saw it and I was on a meeting. I couldn't watch it yet, but I'm glad you mentioned it, because I'm putting that on my to-do list. I saw the thumbnail that popped up for that. I'll
check that out. Yeah, I just feel like I have this great resource of information and education and demonstration. So there's no reason for me to feel like it's a scary thing.
So my dehydrator is one that came from Cal Ranch, which is, I don't know if everybody knows what that is. I guess it's kind of like a Tractor Supply or, farm and home kind of store, but more cozy. Anyhow, it's one that's like, I might have it right behind me. Hold on. Let me move out of the way. Do you see that square right
by the window?
There? Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So it's got drawers to it. And one thing that's nice about it is that you don't have the circle ones that have the hole in the middle, because I use parchment paper. You can get silicone things to stick in there too. I've seen people do, which I want to do. But I love it because, for example, this last week I made fruit roll-ups for the grandbabies.
Oh, nice.
And my daughter's always on me, Lisa. She's like, "Why didn't you video the chicks as they're growing?" I'm like, "I'm going to get them. And then I made the fruit roll-ups. I had them all in a bag. The grandbabies love them. And they're like, "Tell mom and dad these are healthy," because my kids are like, "Mom, don't be me." I was on a pie making frenzy not too long ago.
Yeah.
We need to eat healthy. I'm like, okay, I'm trying. All right. This is how I cook. But so they were healthy. The babies love them, and they love strawberry chips and banana chips. And I love that it's got drawers. So you can flat out go to town when you want to dehydrate.
Okay.
And you're not limited by the small one. And then you can set your temperature on there and a timer, so it runs and then it beeps when it's done. It's just awesome.
Yeah, well, that's what I need to do again, because now I'm fortunate because in the years we've grown a garden and we can't eat everything that we produce. We've got animals that will eat it. So ducks and geese will virtually eat anything. Some stuff they don't have, but pretty much any kind of vegetable, fruit, things like that.
Yeah.
have. And then Cabo and Delilah can eat a lot of greens.
Whoops, sorry. This is baby. I've got a toy box in my living room, and the babies were over one of the toys just fell out of their fire. So Lisa too, has been doing tell her, Lisa, what you've been doing.
What have I been doing?
Those jars.
Oh, meals in a jar.
With
with the freeze dryer.
Another amazing idea.
But you could do them with dehydrating too.
Yep, you can.
Better to have a dehydrator or a freeze dryer?
I have both.
I would say both because first off, it's nice to start with that dehydrator to get a feel for, what you like. But the freeze dryer, the food, I'll let Lisa speak to the comparison, but there's things I feel like your food has a certain texture with dehydrated that it's not going to have with freeze dried.
Okay.
Right.
Lisa,
right. I mean, but here's the reality of it is freeze drying. The freeze dryers are super expensive and it's not for everybody. So I think that the reality of it is you have to determine what works for you, what's best for you. And then my suggestion is if you're doing a meal in a jar, do it all one preserved way or another. So for example, do all dehydrated or all freeze dried. And the reason why is because freeze dried items use less water to reconstitute versus dehydrated. So one of the videos that I made, I talked about try before you stock up.
Okay.
And I did a recipe and I would have been really disappointed because I put so much water in there, and it's because they often mix the dehydrated with freeze dried. And it's just I think it's a bad idea.
Okay. And speaking of water, do you have water again? Is y'all's well?
Yep, we do. Everything is fixed. We had to have a new well pump and wiring. It was just temporary, like I said. So we did that. And so we're thankful. There's always something going on, right?
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah, we have that. So everything's going well. But yeah, the freeze dryer has been really good. In fact, Daz in his video was talking about dehydrating onion rings and then taking them out and putting them in the deep fryer. And I do onions all the time, but I never do rings. I always just do long chunks because when they're freeze dried, you can make them into powder. You can just crush them with your hand. Mm-hmm. And I was blown away.
Okay, well, I'm adding things to my to-do list now, visiting with you guys. But so garden is only at the top of the list because it's gardening season. I did get lots of seeds started just in the last couple of days. And I have a video coming out Thursday afternoon about that. So it's a hack. I'm trying something new since we've had the crazy temperatures because I really like to wait until it looks like we're going to have consistent temps of overnight that are 50 degrees or higher, but we're just not getting that yet. And it looks like when I look at the weather forecast, we've still got a week or so where overnight temps are going to be below 50. So I thought, okay, I can't put this off much longer. So I have a plan, and I've got things planted in containers. Like right now, they're sitting out on the front porch because it's sunny and it's about, it's getting upper 50s now. And then last night I just brought everything in and, brought it into the house. And the little containers make it so easy to do that. So I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that it'll work. And the goal is just that, again, I just want to get them germinated in these little containers, and then I'll transplant them so that they're in something more suitable for the size they're going to be. But we'll see how that goes. And again, I have a video coming out on Thursday afternoon that is like step one of this hack thing that I'm doing for the first time. So anyway, so that's my first goal for the year. I haven't thought about my fall garden yet, but I'd like to also have a fall garden. So we'll just play it by ear and see how it goes. Second goal is that I want to get off of caffeine. So I don't drink a lot of caffeine. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink sodas. I used to, when I gave up coffee, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I went to tea, and I was only having like a cup of hot tea in the mornings. But I am so sensitive to caffeine and so
Me too.
addicted to caffeine that if I don't get even the little amount of caffeine that might be in a cup of hot tea, I get like almost a migraine level headache.
Huh.
And the only thing that makes it go away is to drink some caffeine. And I thought, okay, I just can't. I don't like that. I don't like being dependent on anything. I don't like to be dependent on medicine even. So I switched from black tea to green tea because there's not as much caffeine in green tea. And I thought, surely that'll be the answer. I can still get a little caffeine and still have my hot beverage in the morning.
You made Lisa thirsty.
The green tea does the same thing. I get so hooked on the caffeine. So I just want to get
I don't get headaches because I just have a cup.
So every morning. This cup now, this just has hot water, warm water in it. And I want to maybe I can
throw some tea in it.
Well, maybe I can trick my brain and think, okay, see, I'm still having my cup of something.
Put some decaffeinated coffee in there and a splash of cayenne pepper.
Well, the next thing I want to go to is decaf green tea. I know there's lots of health benefits with green teas, antioxidants and things. And I haven't had coffee now in so long that it doesn't even appeal to me to drink coffee. So I think I'm going to try and get myself now switched over to.
So, Kathy, you said earlier that you grew a bunch of herbs. Make your own herbal tea. I love to drink herbal teas.
Yeah, and when I dry my own herbs, a lot of times I will infuse my tea. I'll infuse my tea with it. But yeah, I could even just do a water, just an herb water. Maybe put a splash of honey in there.
I make my own herbal tea blends, and I have I always try new stuff, of course, but holy basil which is also called Tulsi tea is wonderful. It has no caffeine, and that's one you just drink by itself. And then your red rooibos is amazing. I love rooibos. There's a green rooibos too. I know. That's really good. But if you feel, I've always heard cayenne pepper helps to break caffeine addictions. It really gets you going. It gets your body moving. It warms everything up and gets you moving. As far as adding it to a tea or something, it just kind of, it has no flavor. It just gives it a little bit of a bite. It's not like you're taking a bite of a jalapeno pepper or something like that. It just gives it a bit of a bite. So I would say if you really don't want, because I know when you think about drinking like the coffee, because I'll drink decaffeinated coffee, but I switched over again here recently. I kind of do that during the winter. And then when it starts to shift a little bit, I'll start switching over to the teas because I know what I'm drinking is good for me. But red rooibos, and then add a little bit of cayenne pepper into that. It's a wonderful coffee substitute.
I'll put that on my to-do list too. And so again, part of the reason I want to get off caffeine is just because I don't like feeling so dependent on it. Even though, again, I know there's not a lot of caffeine in a cup of green tea, but I'm that sensitive to it that I get really hooked on it.
I am too.
But one of the things that really has motivated me now to make that a goal for this year is that it leads me to my next goal, which is to get more involved in music again. And so this month has been very challenging for me. So I already wanted to challenge myself and try some different kinds of music and stretch my voice and see what I could do with it. But I have battled so much the inflammation and gunk in my throat that I totally believe is partly connected to caffeine. I think caffeine just stirs all that stuff up and triggers the mucous membranes, and so it has just been a really more of a challenge than it should have been. And I just think part of it has probably been related to that. So anyway, so that's
dairy maybe too.
What's that?
Dairy also.
Well, I don't eat a lot of dairy or drink a lot of dairy, but I do. Yeah, I am aware that
dairy is linked
get all
to a lot of that as well.
Making gunk, yeah.
You know what I read I like the life extension vitamins, and they send out like magazines. You know, every vitamin maker does, right?
Yeah.
And I was reading one of theirs, and they were saying that a vitamin D3 deficiency can cause sinus drainage, which you talk about, like feeling like you need to clear your throat a lot.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I don't know, worth mentioning anyway.
Well, we had the D3 around because we were doing the whole zinc and D3 and vitamin C regimen to try and stay, protected from the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Which I haven't had it, knock on wood. Richard's had it once. But he also wasn't doing the zinc and vitamin D and vitamin C.
I mean, you realize you might have had it too and just been non-symptomatic.
True. Yeah. Didn't get
Ryan's convinced I had it December before it was public because I was very, very sick. And they weren't testing back then. And they
Lisa,
tested me.
When you were that sick, did you feel like, what in the heck? Like, this is horrible. This is not my average flu.
Oh, it was horrible because
flu times 2 is how I thought of it when I had it.
Yeah, because he was in South Dakota and I had to drive myself to the urgent care.
Yeah, well, when Richard got it, so he had been feeling bad like right after Christmas last year. So we made it through those 2 or 3 years without problems, not getting sick. And he got up. He had been not feeling well. He was in bed. He got up to go to the bathroom. He came out of the bathroom. I was here in the living room. He came out of the bathroom and passed out. I heard him crash on the floor.
Shoot.
So our boy Boone, the dog, goes running over to see what the crash was, and I go, and there's Richard laying on the floor. I thought he was unconscious at first, but he was just so out of it. Now, he had taken like a Mucinex earlier in the day. I don't know if that played a part in it or not, but he was, and again, he was not feeling well. I knew that. He was already sick with something. And it just got so bad that he was almost in tears telling me he couldn't breathe.
Oh, shoot.
An ambulance came to get him, took him to the hospital.
So I think everybody should have an oximeter in their house.
Yeah, we've got one.
Yeah. So we made sure we had that. And then when we got sick last year, we were able to kind of keep tabs on our oxygen. But I was super weak when Mountain Grandpa got it. He thought he just hurt all over. And he's like, what is wrong with me? I've got cancer or something. Like, he didn't say that, but he's like, what is wrong with me? This is weird. Like, he had no fever, nothing else. He just hurt everywhere. And we took him and they gave him like an anti-inflammatory IV. We refused any testing. We don't want anything, crammed up our nose. I don't know. I feel like I've lost all faith in people. I don't know anything. But anyhow, so that's what they did for him. And they're like, you've got some kind of a virus that's triggered like polymyalgia. So like, in other words, all over rheumatism.
Yeah.
We go home and the next morning I woke up like he did because he said, I feel like I've been ran over by a train, right? I woke up the next morning and I'm like, I'm sick. I feel like you did, and how could you not know? How could you not know you're sick? Men are so funny. And I knew exactly. I knew I was sick, but hey, I'm covered. That means we're good for at least 14 months.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Richard didn't complain of anything hurting, and it seemed to come on really suddenly, even though he had been saying he didn't feel well. I just mean, like getting a cold or just under the weather. That's how it started. And then suddenly turns into not even being able to breathe.
Yeah.
So he was out of work for 2 weeks. Took him 2 weeks to get back to where he was strong enough to go back to work. And I was doing all the tending here on my own and tending offsite for animals on my own. Worried just being so tired was going to put me at risk, but I didn't get it. I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't get bitten by mosquitoes either, even when we're mosquitoes.
Real quick, I want to say hi to George Mitchell. Welcome. And then also Rana, Chef International. Thank you all for joining us.
And I see Mary at Butler Family Farm is here.
Yeah, good to see you all. Butler Family Farm, thank you for joining us.
So, anyway, so again, all of that still, I got all squirrely there. I want to get more involved in music again. And when I say that, I want to more consistently put cover songs on the channel. But I would like to get back into singing for weddings and funerals. And
is that what when you say again, is that what you used to do? Because it's clear that you did some professional singing. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. Yes. So
very well trained too. Hey, Scratch
I
and
haven't had any training, but I grew up singing in the church.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it all got started. I taught myself to play the piano when I was about 6 years old. And so, off and on have been in, in church choirs and school choirs. And I've done karaoke stuff. I did a concert tour of Ireland and Scotland years and years ago. I've done the local Opry circuit here in the past. And again, have sung for weddings and funerals and banquets and award ceremonies. And
was the Scotland and Ireland, was that with your choir?
it was I sang with the Richland Hills Family Singers, which was a church group. But when they do the world tour things, when they go into a concert tour, it's not just all church stuff. The reason I got to go on the trip was that someone who had been planning to be a part of the trip had to cancel. A couple that both sang in this group had to cancel because one of their parents was really, really not doing well and wasn't expected to live beyond another couple of days. So I got a call on a Saturday, I think, asking me if I was sitting down. The director called me. I hadn't sung with the group probably for a year or so. And asked me if I was sitting down. I sat down and told her yes, and she told me that these people were not going to be able to go. And she said, I just want to know if there's any way you can take
fun. Place. What a fun opportunity. I asked because my aunt, my mom and my aunt used to sing when they were young. They had their own McGuire girls in their town, and not the big there's some famous McGuire girls, but my aunt sang with the choir, and she went to Ireland, and it was part of the choir thing. And when you said it was another country, and I think it might have been the one you listed, and it just rang a bell with me. That's why
this was a big group. I think there were about 20 of us that went on that tour back in 1996.
That would have been about how funny. She might have been there with you.
Oh my goodness, how funny. So the part of why Charlotte called me was I sight read, and I had a very wide, big vocal range at the time because I was singing all the time. And she knew I'd been doing the Opry circuit and singing for weddings and funerals and award shows and stuff. So I had my own set of like accompaniment tracks, and because part of what we did on the tour was there were some of us that did solo work on the tour as well as singing with the group. So and they paid my way. How could I say no? She said, if you can make it happen, because I had 4 kids at the time. She said, if you can make it happen, we'll pay your way. We'll give you spending money. If you don't have a passport, we'll fly you to Houston to walk you through your passport because we have a contact there. Because I got the call on Saturday, and they were leaving the next Saturday on the trip.
Awesome.
So crash course, I had a week to memorize music and
all the songs.
Wow.
So for your music, you're going to do more cover songs and maybe another side hustle there, right?
Well, and that's part of why I said, that's part of why I wanted to bring that up, because it is a money-making opportunity. I've made money singing. I just never have been in a position to do it full-time enough that I could make a living doing it. And I don't know that I would want to do that full-time. There was a day when I might have liked to do that full-time, but it's grueling work. When we did the concert tour, the Ireland and Scotland concert tour, when I was only like this big around anyway, and I came home and I had lost like 10 or 15 pounds. And when you're touring, you're lugging your own bags and climbing up and down stairs and being up late and getting up early, and so it's not all it's cracked up to be. But I would love to. So one of the goals along those lines is I really need to. I've thought about this for a long, long time. Like look into when the Texas Rangers baseball team does their auditions for the national anthem. I just think that would be so cool. I would love to sing the national anthem at a sporting event.
Nice.
The Rangers open auditions to the public. I think the Dallas Stars, our hockey team, they might do that same thing. I just haven't taken the step yet to look into when does it happen. And now I'm sure I'm already too late because baseball season's about to start. But I want to get more involved in that. I want to get myself out there and share more of my music.
Hey, Vineyard Chicks.
What's that?
Oh, I was saying hi to Vineyard Chicks. They just joined us.
I want to learn to play the guitar. So I've been saying I want to learn to play the guitar for probably 30 years. And I can pick at it a little bit and play a little bit by ear, but I know nothing about playing the guitar. We have 3 guitars here. Like we'll go to estate sales and find acoustic guitars.
I have to okay, I gotta comment
Buy
on
off
this.
the wall prepper.
Buy off the wall prepping. Thanks for coming in. So I want to play the mandolin, and I have a mandolin. And I heard something the other day because I play guitar. And that's another thing I wanted to do this year was get more into music, but we got to get settled before I feel like I can do a whole lot of that. But I like to write songs, and I really want to sell some of my songs. And I know there's avenues to do that. So I want to try to do that. But I want to comment with you on the learning guitar, because I was listening to a musician speak. And I think my husband was actually playing one of the videos and I was listening. And they were talking about if somebody wants to learn to play guitar, and this goes to my mandolin too, right? Don't get them a cheap guitar and then say, here you go, because they're not going to continue. They're not going to be successful. And they're going to think it's because of them. They can't do it. When the truth is, even an experienced guitar player might grab up that guitar and be like, yeah, this sucks. You've got to have good action, which means your strings need to be close to your frets in order. And you've got to be able to, well, I don't know, depending on what kind of guitar you want to play. I mean,
look what Dad said.
I just want to do 6-string acoustic guitar. I want something I can carry around with me, or that I can sit and record a video playing on a.
That's awesome.
Go to bed, Daz. But the guitars we have bought at estate sales, they're nice guitars. These are great guitars. And I've thought each time we get another one, I've thought, okay, yes, now I'm going to be motivated.
Well, they could be, so Kathy, they could be nice. Like it could totally be like a, expensive Taylor guitar. You got it at a good price. But if it's not set up, and there's some people set up guitars, you just need to be able to make sure that when you press the chords or the strings, that you can press them down well and it doesn't take a lot of effort. That's a good indicator. And you want to make sure that the way, because there's like on your neck of your guitar, some necks are fatter than other necks. And I'm like a small human being. Yeah, I'm not near as small as I'm supposed to be, okay? But I got little bitty hands. So for me, a guitar needs to have a neck on it that I'm going to be able to manipulate well with my fingers, right?
Yeah.
And
look at Garden State Gardener.
Like the one we have that's the nicest one here, it's already one that I feel like I can't use because it's big round. So and
the
that
belly
was
bongo.
Oh, hey Joe. What did Garden State Gardener say?
Hey Pete.
He prefers the belly bongo. I'm dying. That's what I was dying laughing about.
I have small hands. I have small hands too, which was always a challenge for me because my favorite thing to play on piano was classical music, and I'm a big Chopin fan. But he's got some chords that I can't even imagine how big. I can't imagine how big his hands had to be. So I had to learn to do a lot of modifications in playing just to be able to cover notes. With just my 2 little hands. But
thanks, my rainbow.
Anyway, so that's a big goal, is music and learning to play the guitar. And I don't doubt that I can do it. It's not like
you can totally do it.
I can't do it. I'm already glad now to get some pointers on what kind of guitar. Because we bought these beautiful guitars, and there's already one where I feel like I can't even get to that last string. I can't even reach that last string. So, and then, so that's kind of all of my
Acorn Fed Life
personal goals. And then we really have a goal. We want to grow our channel to 3,000 subscribers this year. So we just crossed the 2,000 mark on Friday last week.
Congratulations.
And I just want to tell you guys, if you guys are not putting out shorts, please experiment with shorts. Because I started putting out a short every day. I put it out at the same time every day, like 8, 10, maybe 12 days ago. And we're the subscribers. I just can't believe like a 14-second short will get us 8 subscribers.
Hey, Mickelson family.
So, and then obviously the goal is always, you know, they'll watch your short and subscribe, and then you want them to watch your other stuff.
Yeah. And they don't. And they don't a lot of the time.
It's a catch-22. But just to get the exposure and, you know, hey, your channel name then was in front of somebody that at least liked the little piece of what they saw. So my hope is that if, you know, even 25% of those people then stay and go watch the other stuff on the channel, we can grow it to the 3,000 goal for this year. So
I noticed that. I started doing shorts because we're so busy, and I've got the grandbabies next door, and that means I got the grandbabies at my house. And I love that because one of these days they might not want to come to grandma's house, right? Unless they get to come now. So I'll have them over, and I feel like it slowed down a little. That and just everything else going on. For example, we got the meat birds, and my daughter was saying, "Why didn't you do a bunch of video of the meat birds? Like we've got them. I'll do a short of them, and maybe I'll do a video. A couple of things I learned with these meat birds compared to like getting regular chickens. There was a few things that really were eye-opening for me with these guys, but it's not over yet, right? So,
and I'm hoping. So we've got a goose sitting on a nest again. We had a goose sitting on a nest of duck and goose eggs, and then she just gave up. But it's been so cold. I still wonder if the temperature maybe had an impact and she was off of the nest too much and then
maybe
stopped. So I've got another girl now sitting on a nest. It's just goose eggs. I would love to some duck eggs.
Yeah, but to speak to what you were saying about the shorts, I do notice when I'm uploading shorts, I get new subscribers from the shorts.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's true.
I mean, not just subscribers.
They don't add watch hours really, but.
And I almost feel like a 14-second short gets, you know, 1,000 more views than a 30-second, or for sure than a 60-second short. So the shorter the short, the better.
You don't want to see my cooking? I do. My shorts are a lot of our dinners, right? Because I like to cook for the family. You know, it's funny. I did not used to like to cook until I got to work from home, and I was able to cook, and then you can like relax and cook and enjoy it more, right? Hey, Kim's cooking, but a lot of the stuff I make, it's like the same old stuff. To me, it's a very boring thing. I wouldn't do a video on, you know, making beans and fried potatoes and cornbread, but
hey, don't sell yourself short. There could still be somebody.
But so I do a short of our meals and a short of our foods, and I don't know. I tend to get pretty good views with that. But
well, and most of our shorts obviously are animal things. And so I always have. I just record with my phone. I don't have a real camera, but here, so much of the content for the channel creates itself. I just have to have the camera. I have to have my phone with me to record it because we can't control what the animals are going to do.
Lisa's got some good shorts.
Watch your feed, Daz. I'm going to put some more rubbish in it.
I love Lisa. Oh my gosh. One of them that comes to mind is "This is how the frigid girls walk." Lisa is like nails it with being able to get like all right, I guess this way. Wait. I can't point because I'm all dyslexic, but yeah. She is the best at getting the music with a short and having it be entertaining. Oh my gosh, I love to see her shorts.
Cornfed Lives comment, the shorter the short, the better. That was my motto in college.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I used to try it, man. I'd try to stretch those shorts out. If I had 60 seconds, it would be 59.75 seconds.
Nope.
And those just do not get the views like a 14-second short will get.
that's maybe that explains it, because that's how short my shorts
So
are.
the first 13 or 14-second short I put up got 8,000 views in the first half hour.
Wow, that's awesome.
We've never had another short get that many views, but
and
it
could have been a combination of timing.
Oh yeah,
as well as content,
And I think I've seen a couple of the gurus, the YouTube gurus that teach you how to do it and what works is to have words on the screen.
Yeah.
That the words too will sometimes
and the colors,
catch people's attention more.
I'm still trying to figure all that out.
Something that when they just see the the little thumbnail on that recommended page, there's just, and yet then there are other days when I do something the same way I've been doing it and nobody even seems to see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we are at the top of the hour. Does anybody have any questions for Kathy? And Kathy, is there anything else that you want to share?
Well, I think I'm responded to a comment you made on one of my covers. I would love for you and I to put our heads together and see if we can do some kind of music collaboration.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I don't know how we could make it work. Now, I did a collab with the Vineyard Chicks. They did the Sing With Me duet thing, and we did Rewrite the Stars from The Greatest Showman. And I just set it up split screen. So KK and Trey were on their side of the screen doing their part, and I was on my side of the screen. I think it was fun. I think it turned out great. That could be something we could do. I don't know a lot of duet stuff. You might know some duet stuff. I would love to try out some country music stuff.
That's my thing.
I've done some country music stuff before, but it doesn't tend to be my first choice. I tend to find myself sticking with like the adult contemporary or kind of slightly pop type stuff or show tune type stuff. I love the show tune type stuff, but I would love to, again, stretch out more. And if you can help me think of something we could do together, I just think
that'd be fun.
Amazing. I think anyone else?
Awesome.
Is there someone else that wants to do a collaboration, a singing collaboration? I'd like for that to be part of what I try next, is to get people involved in something with me.
Yeah, that would be fun. And there are a lot of good duets out there, especially in the country genre. Maybe there are other places too, but I do other stuff, but countries, that's my default for sure.
Yep.
When I say other stuff, maybe like, the old rock kind of thing. But I really don't. I was listening to some of yours, beautiful music, and I've heard the songs, but it's not the genres that I typically listen to. Not because I don't like it, mind you. Just, I don't know, just because I'm too busy listening to country music.
Yeah, well, and that's part of why I want to. I mean, obviously, I'm from Texas. I'm a country fan. I know country music, but I just generally don't sing country music. I don't know why. So I want to branch out, partly because that's part of my objective here, is just to stretch myself and try new things. But I also want to offer something for people that's what they like most.
Yeah.
Did you see Daz's
I like
comment?
Fleetwood Mac, so I
was responding to him.
What is it? What did I miss?
Lisa likes to rap.
I just told him it would be censored. It would be totally censored because I don't like censored music.
That is so funny. Yeah, that would be a blast, Kathy.
Yeah, let's make that happen.
Yeah. And if anybody hasn't checked out their This and That videos, they've got some fun ones. We just watched your This and That video that did played the entry music for TV shows from the 70s. That was fun.
Yeah.
My husband and I were playing a lot.
I was just so disappointed.
Vineyard Chicks, of course.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but I didn't want to throw you in. But I think that'd be awesome.
Hey, we could do something all together. You and I and Vineyard Chicks could do something all together.
I will not be singing.
Yeah, you can rap. We can have a rap solo in the middle of whatever it is. Or you could be the Pip. Gladys Knight the Pips. You can be the Pip in the background doing the background vocals and the.
I can do the lip syncing.
Be our percussion.
But I was so disappointed that Richard didn't know the Partridge Family tune. But how can you not know the Partridge Family tune?
I think Miranda Lambert did one with the what did they call themselves? Something Annie. Can't think of the name of their little group that she formed, but I think they did. I'll look around too, Kathy. See what I can find.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how. Yeah, and the Vineyard Chicks said they'd join us.
Yes, wouldn't that just be fun?
Yeah.
There's
Life
so
with
much.
Linda and Chuck. Hey,
There's
Pistol
so much
Annies. Yeah.
Healing and blessing that comes from music, whatever kind. I like all kinds of music. Again, just because I don't sing all kinds of music doesn't mean I don't like it all. So my favorite kind of music is alternative rock.
Mm-hmm.
The 90s, Cake and those kind of groups. I love that stuff, but I have never sung that stuff. I may never sing that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I grew up in a bluegrass family. So that's because my family, we all played music. And my brother is now not far from us, and I'm dying for us to get together and play some music, because there's also some bluegrass songs that I wrote, but I don't even want to share them because I need my brother's banjo.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we are at the top of the hour. We're going to go ahead. I love the old Tear in My Beer country music too. Merle Haggard. Ark Wildman does some Merle Haggard. He does a good job. Lisa, do you have any updates for your channel that you want to share?
No. Eleanor, look at.
Oh, I know, and Fiona.
I was just looking at Daz's comment. Fiona's ear looks okay today. That's my biggest update. It looks okay. We're working on getting her to heal.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for us.
Mm-hmm. All right, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you all go check out Kathy over at RichKat Ranch.
Thanks for being here, Kathy.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
It was fun. And I'm looking forward to visiting with you on your channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes, she will be on the show the last Friday in April.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy will be my guest. I interview content creators on my Friday live streams so that we can pick their brains and learn about their channels and what's going on at their homesteads or whatever their channel might be about. So
yeah, that'll be
fun.
That's
been a lot of fun for me. So we're going to have fun. Yes.
Yep. And we'll have to touch base on the music collaboration, figure out what we could do. That'd be fun stuff.
Yep. I'll be looking up some duets.
Mm-hmm. All right, everybody. Thank you all for joining. I hope you all have a blessed rest of your week. And we will see you next Tuesday, same time.
Yes. Be blessed, everyone. Love to all from RichKat Ranch.
Bye, everybody.